From the News Channel 5 network, this is Sportsline.
Good evening, Nashville. Welcome to Titans Talk here on News Channel 5 Plus on what is a victory Monday for the two-tone blue. Titans with a 30-24 overtime win in Baltimore yesterday against the Ravens. One of the gutsiest efforts, one of the most thrilling games and gutsiest efforts for the two-tone blue in recent memory, and a much-needed win for your Tennessee Titans as they up their record to 7-3. Still technically tied for the lead in the AFC South Division with the with the Indianapolis Colts, who defeated the Green Bay Packers yesterday. Both teams at 7-3, but as of now, the Colts are technically ahead because they own the tiebreaker because they beat the Titans back on that Thursday night about 11 days ago. But for the Titans, terrific performances all around. The much-maligned defense stepped up when it had to, and the offense finally got it going after settling for field goals. They finally were able to get into the end zone late in this football game. A.J. Brown, one of the most exciting individual efforts you'll see, that 14-yard catch and run for the touchdown where he broke 4 tackles and basically ran over a defender to get into the end zone. You know what happened then? The Ravens go back down. They score a field goal to tie the game at 24. We go to overtime. Ravens, of course, won the toss, but the Titans defense, Harold Landry was a monster on that first opening drive for the Ravens in overtime. And on third down, coming up with that big sack on Lamar Jackson, forcing a punt. And, of course, the Titans offense led by Ryan Tannehill, getting them down the field, and then Derrick Henry closing it out with that 29-yard touchdown run. So, again, the Titans do yesterday what they did back in January, going into Baltimore and beating the Ravens. Again, the final 30-24 in overtime. Coming up, we are going to hear from all the heroes of yesterday's game as we bring you exclusive, well, not exclusive, but certainly unedited, unbroken up sound, if you will, from the Tennessee Titans. And we're going to start with the man who engineered this victory from the sidelines, head coach Mike.
Hey, Coach. Congrats on the win. I think you're muted.
Thank you.
To get us started, Kayla.
Whoa.
I know Teresa.
Whoa now. Hey now.
Heard from.
Hey, Coach. First of all, I guess the way that you guys won this one and the play calls down the stretch, how much can a win like this really shift the momentum to you guys, especially with how the AFC is so jam-packed right now?
Well, we talked about it all week, that it's packed up in there, and we're going to have to start doing things that'll break us away from the pack. And today was a great step. It was a great team win. Proud to be these guys as coach, and thankful, as we approach Thanksgiving, thankful to be their football coach.
Jim?
Mike, speaking of breaking away from the pack, what was your view of the Henry run, and what was your feeling like on the sideline as he broke from the pack and scored?
Well, I mean, I think that's a great analogy, Jim, and you could just kind of tell, as that game wore on into the fourth quarter, that I think we were wearing on them offensively. It was tough sledding there early. Give them a lot of credit. That's a really good football team, great players, well coached. But you could just tell going down there in the fourth quarter where the way we scored, and then getting the ball, in overtime. After we forced a 3-and-out, a lot of credit to our guys, and then just looking at their body language on the side, on their sideline, and also on the field, that I felt like we were going to be able to break through there. And I didn't know it was going to look like that, but Pottle up on the front side, and Derek, everybody stayed on their guy, finished, and he was able to cut back.
Terry?
Mike, it seemed like that there was a lot of emotion out there. There was pregame chirping going on, and it seemed to kind of carry over into the game. Can you talk about some of that and how the emotions played into it?
It's a violent game. It's a physical game. It's an emotional game. So, I hope we play with emotion, and I hope we do things that help our team and not do things that hurt our team.
TD? John Glennon?
Yeah, Mike, you touched on it briefly there, but certainly had some big stops from your defense. Of course, the one in overtime, and then 3 out of 4 red zone stops too. How important were those in staying close and being able to come back there?
Huge. I think huge. And we just kept chipping away at it. Got off to a great start, and give them a lot of credit. They, that's a tough offense to game plan for, to prepare for. But I thought we executed the keys. Could always be better on third down, but when you can make them kick field goals in the red zone, you have a chance. And certainly coming up with the big stops when we did was key.
Buck?
Yeah, Mike, how big was the A.J. Brown touchdown, and what does that kind of do for your team when you see a guy like that shake off 4 tackles and then take it for 6?
Just the play strength that he has, just the ability to catch the ball, and he's tough to tackle. I know there's a lot that he wants to work on and continue to improve, and he puts a lot of expectations on himself. But I thought him and Corey, I thought they played physical against some really good corners. That's an excellent defense, and I thought the effort, from everybody was outstanding, and certainly on AJ on that play to, he's down. Are we going to go? It went from like, are we going to go? We can't kick a field goal to, okay, maybe we're close enough to go for it, to, what's going to be our, goal line play to kicking, going for 2. So that was a lot of emotions going through my mind as he was running.
Joe Rexrode?
Mike, I know you say the injury rate's 100% and the injuries are part of every season, but at this point, pretty extreme for you guys. How extreme is it at this point, and how much does that play into the emotions of pulling through when you got guys like Quesenberry out there and other guys who have had to be forced into action here?
I think guys are ready for their opportunity. They're excited to play. I think Aaron Brewer was excited to play. I think Malik Hooker and Josh Kalu. And nobody's more into it than David Quisenberry. And I know that Will Compton was excited to play and made some plays and made tackles. And it's real difficult to go all week with a group of guys that are practicing a game plan, especially as specific as it was this week. And having guys go down, and then guys being able to step up and be able to execute that without having to change everything. So just a lot of credit to our players, those of them that stepped in and executed. Logan Woodside helped us win the game. Nick, there with the fake punt. I thought, we got to clean up some things, obviously, but we're going to enjoy this here for the next few minutes.
Paul?
Mike, what went on with Malcolm Butler and Jim Harbaugh before the game? What went on with you and Jim Harbaugh after the game? John,
I went to celebrate with Derek and the team to congratulate him. And then I ran back and shook his hand and asked what the issue was before the game, and he said there wasn't an issue. So I went to celebrate with my football team.
Did he decline to shake hands?
No, absolutely not. No, a lot of respect for John. We shook hands. But, again, I wanted to sprint down there and be excited with the team and then sprinted back to midfield.
Luke?
Mike, we've talked a lot about consistency this year with this football team. After a performance like you saw today, how do you move from that to seeing that more consistently through the rest of the season?
Practice, continue to study, focus. We'll just have to get ready for another opponent that we just didn't play very well against just a few days ago. So, that's the key each and every week, Luke, is being able to win or lose. Try to find ways to improve and move on to the next opponent. And that's going to be a critical division game here on the road again after Thanksgiving and all those other things that could somehow be a distraction.
Eric?
Hey, Mike. Tannehill took a number of big hits, was on the ground a bunch. How much did you see his toughness, especially today?
Can't say enough about it. It wasn't perfect. And, there were some throws he'd like to have back, some blocks that the lineman would like to have back. And, we want to keep him clean. But he does, he takes he stands in there and delivers the football and doesn't flinch. And I love that he's our quarterback and that he's, I get to go to work with him every day.
Steve Lehman?
And Mike, you guys talk so much about complementary football, and you've highlighted a number of plays here on both sides of the ball, special teams as well. But is there any more example of complementary football than in overtime when your defense gets a 3 and out and then your offense and goes and get a touchdown in that specific situation?
I mean, that's how you draw it up. I think, you want KB to probably win the toss, go down there and score a touchdown, but that didn't happen, and so we went out and played defense. Great job by our, thought we had a good call in there. I thought we had good execution, great execution. And then to be able to turn around and go back down and score. That's, it is a great example. We need to continue to show the players that if we do that enough, force them to punt backed up, that we're going to win a lot of football games. And we got to take care of the football. But, I think that we were okay except for the one, Ryan kind of didn't see the guy.
David?
Mike, talk about the decision to go with Brewer at left guard and what's your sense of how he did in there today?
I can tell you without watching the film that he competed his tail off. He competed because I know that. That's why I was in there. And I thought he earned the right to be out there. We wanted to take a look at him. Jamil is a guy we have a lot of confidence in. And, just didn't know where Ben was going to be. And his efforts, there's so many guys that are battling through that I hate to start sitting here and name them by name. But there's a lot of guys that are playing far less than 100%. And I'm so proud to coach them and watch them compete. But Brewer, I thought he earned the right. He loves football and competes. He's tough. And I know he's going to fight in there for you.
Hey, Arden, take 2 more, please.
Okay. John Glennon.
Yeah, Mike, the decision, you guys are down 21-13, tough call there, 4th and 2, close range. What made you, decide on the field goal? Obviously it turned out, I guess, how much did you think of going for it there as opposed to kicking the field goal?
I don't know, John. If you didn't like the decision, just write you didn't like the decision. It worked out. It's a good call. It doesn't work out. It's a bad call. I don't know. It felt like, just to be honest, I hate to say that, John, with it being 8 and knowing that we could maybe just be able to get it off schedule with not having to have the score and a 2-point conversion. The 4th and 2 probably played a little something into it, but just felt like the way that our defense had been playing and the fact that, we could, get it down there to where we could score, have the lead and kind of play out like it did was really the reason. And I know that all those decisions always come down to execution. The decision to fake the punt was only a good decision because, Logan and the punt team and Nick, made it a good decision. And that's how this thing goes.
Last one, Paul.
Mike, do you feel like this game in some ways reestablished kind of your grit, team's ability to withstand the bad stuff, take the hard path to get it done?
I think so. I hope so. And I know that the players believe that and they can see that transpire, out there where it's not pretty. And, where a lot of times guys can start complaining about the defense and, or the offense and, hey, this guy, we got to get some more points or we got to get longer drives. Never once did that happen. We stuck in there, guys fought and defense came through. And when the offense had to, they were able to finish the game off strong in the 4th quarter and overtime.